Imagine this: 1 second, the world is full of life, the next, it's silent. Airports once buzzing with announcements, families, and business travelers suddenly abandoned. Hundreds of planes already in the sky continue cruising, but without pilots, without air traffic control, they're just drifting. Within hours, their fuel runs out. One by one, they drop from the sky. Highways freeze in time. Thousands of cars sit motionless, headlights still glowing until their batteries drain. Subways grind to a halt, doors stuck open, packed with ghostly silence. Then, the lights begin to go out. The global power grid is designed to be resilient, but it's not invincible. Without human hands to monitor, adjust, and repair, systems trip offline. One city at a time, then entire countries, until darkness spreads across continents like a rolling wave of night. Interestingly, nuclear power plants don't instantly explode without people. Most are built with automatic shutdown systems. Reactors scram themselves. But here's the catch: some plants rely on long-term cooling, and without constant oversight, weeks later, a few could overheat, leading to meltdowns. A ticking time bomb, set in motion by our absence. Now pause and picture this: stadiums. In Europe, a Champions League final. In the US, a baseball game in the 7th inning. In Asia, a cricket match with thousands cheering. And then silence. The players, the crowd, the referees, gone. The ball, mid-bounce. The scoreboard, frozen forever. Imagine the strangest time capsule of human passion, games that will never finish. By the end of day one, Earth feels alien. The pulse of humanity, traffic, chatter, laughter gone. What remains is the quiet hum of machines slowly shutting themselves down. The first 24 hours mark the beginning of a planet learning what it means to exist without us, and that's just day one. It's been 1 week without us. The first signs of nature reclaiming our world begin with the animals we left behind. Our pets, once fed and cared for, now face a harsh new reality. Dogs break free of houses, joining together in packs for survival. The friendly golden retriever may soon fight alongside streetwise strays. Cats, more independent, return quickly to their wild roots. They hunt birds, mice, and anything that moves. Within days, house cats begin turning feral again, nature's small predators reborn, but not every animal adapts. Cows, bred for generations to rely on humans, face a painful fate. Without regular milking, their udders swell, infections set in, and many won't survive the week. It's a reminder: some species are too tied to us to make it on their own. Meanwhile, in zoos across the world, animals escape their enclosures. Lions stalk quiet boulevards. Giraffes roam parking lots. Elephants smash through barriers in search of food and water. The human-built world becomes a bizarre new savanna, and while animals reshape the land reshapes itself. Venice, a city that survives only through constant human engineering, floods within days. Without pumps, the canals spill over, drowning ancient plazas beneath rising water. Back in our homes, unfinished meals remain exactly as they were. A plate of spaghetti in Rome. Half a sandwich in New York. A bowl of rice in Tokyo. Our daily rituals, frozen in time. Forever waiting for hands that will never return. By the end of the first week, Earth is no longer ours. The pets we loved fight to survive. The animals we caged taste freedom. And the places we built begin to crumble without us. 30 days have passed since humanity vanished. Already, our cities are beginning to fall apart. Subways, once alive with rushing commuters, now drown. Without pumps to keep water out, entire underground networks flood within weeks. Steel begins to rust. Platforms vanish beneath black water. The decay spreads fast. Rain, wind, and sun break down concrete and glass. Windows shatter. Asphalt splits. Nature starts to take back the spaces we thought were permanent, but not everything disappears. Rats thrive in empty cities, breeding in the millions. Pigeons find endless nesting space on towers and rooftops. Cockroaches swarm through abandoned kitchens, feasting on leftovers we'll never eat. The pests we tried to control, inherit the empire we left behind, and with humans gone, the wild returns. Deer wander across highways. Bears break into empty suburbs. Foxes, coyotes, even wolves reclaim streets once lit by neon signs. For them, the city is no longer danger, it's opportunity that we already have a glimpse of this future. Detroit, Michigan, where entire neighborhoods were abandoned after economic collapse. In just a few decades, trees now grow through roofs. Streets crumble under weeds. Nature doesn't wait centuries. It only needs years. By the first month, our great cities are no longer human. They are habitats. For rats, pigeons, foxes, and forests. In our absence, life does not end, it simply changes course. By the end of day one, Earth feels alien. The pulse of humanity, traffic, chatter, laughter gone. What remains is the quiet hum of machines slowly shutting themselves down. The first 24 hours mark the beginning of a planet learning what it means to exist, without us. By the end of the first day, Earth already feels like another planet. The pulse of humanity, our voices, our movement, our light has vanished. All that remains is the fading hum of machines, winding down into silence. In just 24 hours, the world begins to learn what it means, to exist without us. By the end of the first week, Earth is no longer ours. The pets we loved fight to survive. The animals we caged taste freedom. And the places we built, begin to crumble without us. After 7 days, the world is no longer ours. Our pets now hunt to survive. The animals we caged taste freedom. The cities we built begin to crumble. In a single week, the balance has shifted. And the Earth is already learning to live without us. By the first month, our great cities are no longer human. They are habitats. For rats, pigeons, foxes, and forests. In our absence, life does not end, it simply changes course. By the first month, our great cities no longer belong to us. They are habitats claimed by rats, pigeons, foxes, and forests. In our absence, life does not stop. It adapts. It thrives. It changes course. 12 months have passed since humanity disappeared. In just 1 year, our world looks dramatically different. Forests begin swallowing the suburbs. Lawns grow wild, hedges spread unchecked, and saplings burst through foundations. Neighborhoods transform into woodlands. The quiet streets we built for cars become green corridors for deer, foxes, and wolves. Highways, once the veins of human movement, are now broken ribbons of concrete. Without traffic to grind them smooth, weeds push through the asphalt. Soon, these same roads become hunting trails and migration paths, and in the air, something miraculous happens. Air pollution, once a constant burden, vanishes. Skies over Beijing, Los Angeles, and New Delhi turn crystal clear. For the first time in centuries, the Earth breathes freely. But our monuments do not share this new vitality. Take the Eiffel Tower. Without constant care, its paint peels, exposing iron to the rain. Within a single year, corrosion eats deep into its skeleton. One of our most iconic symbols, already crumbling. Meanwhile, the crops we left behind boom. Golden fields of wheat and corn go unharvested. For deer, birds, and insects, it's an endless buffet. Nature feasts on humanity's last harvests, but what about our digital culture, the pieces of ourselves we stored online? Without engineers to maintain them, servers begin to fail. Data corrupts. Photos, videos, music, all the digital footprints of our lives start vanishing. Even the very platform you're watching this on would eventually dissolve into silence. 1 year without us, the planet is already transformed. Forests thrive where houses stood. Animals roam our streets. The air is cleaner than it has been in centuries. But our monuments rust, and our memories decay into static. By the first year, the Earth is no longer just recovering. It's rewriting the future without us. A decade has passed without us. And now, the world's great cities begin to collapse, concrete crumbles as rain and frost seep into every crack. Steel rusts, expanding, snapping buildings from within. Glass windows shatter, leaving only hollow skeletons of what were once towers of ambition. Even the strongest human structures cannot last forever. Dams, without engineers to release pressure, eventually give way. When they burst, rivers carve new paths across the land, rewriting geography we once controlled, and some nations vanish entirely. The Netherlands, a country kept alive only by pumping stations, sinks beneath the sea. Its cities, farms, and villages swallowed by water. A reminder that much of our world exists only because we fought against nature. Our culture doesn't fare much better. Books decay into dust. Paintings fade and crack. Music recordings warp and fall silent. But stone carvings, statues, monuments, inscriptions, endure. Ironically, the oldest art survives the longest. Now imagine this. An alien visitor drifts down to Earth. They land in Times Square, once the beating heart of human culture. Instead of glowing billboards, they find vines hanging from empty towers. Deer grazing in the shadows of skyscrapers. And silence where once there was light. Between 10 and 50 years, our world has shifted beyond recognition. Cities collapse into ruins. Concrete, steel, and glass give way to forests, rivers, and seas. Our books, our songs, our paintings, all fading. Only stone whispers our story. By half a century, the Earth no longer remembers us. Except in fragments buried beneath the green. 100 years have passed. And the age of skyscrapers is over. Bridges give way, collapsing under rust and storms. The mighty skyscrapers of New York, Shanghai, and Dubai, once symbols of progress, are now only piles of stone and steel. Nature has erased the skyline, but not everything vanishes. The pyramids of Giza endure, still rising from the sands. Stonehenge remains a circle of mystery on the English plains. And Mount Rushmore, carved deep into granite, still gazes out across the Black Hills. Our stone monuments, older than history itself, outlast the world we built of steel and glass, but some of what we leave behind is far less noble. Plastic, millions of tons of it, remains scattered across every corner of the globe. Glass, too, resists the centuries, shimmering like strange jewels in the soil. Our most enduring legacy may not be art or monuments, but trash. Yet even as ruins crumble and plastics linger, the planet itself thrives. Forests stretch across continents. Animals fill every habitat. Earth begins to resemble an ancient supercontinent. A new Pangea of green, alive with untamed life. Not every monument makes it. The Statue of Liberty, for example, is made of copper. Within just a few centuries, corrosion eats through her skin. One day, she collapses completely, sinking into the sea she once watched over. Between 100 and 1,000 years, humanity's world has nearly vanished. Our cities are gone. Our bridges fallen. Only a handful of stone monuments whisper our story. The Earth no longer remembers our time here. Except in fragments of stone and shards of plastic. 10,000 years have passed since humanity vanished. And every city we built, is gone. No skyscrapers. No bridges. No streets. Only faint scars in the land where our concrete once stood. The Earth has wiped the slate clean. Forests reign where suburbs stood. Deserts expand where farmland once stretched. Oceans swallow entire shorelines. The planet no longer remembers us as builders, only as a brief presence in its story, but traces of us still linger. Radioactive elements from our power plants remain in the soil. Plastic fragments lie buried beneath forests and oceans. And far above, satellites still orbit silently, our mechanical ghosts circling the planet we once called home. Astonishingly, one of the last human-made structures still recognizable might be the Hoover Dam. Built to resist the ages, it could survive 10,000 years. Long after every skyscraper and monument has fallen to dust. 10,000 years after our disappearance, Earth is free. Our cities erased. Our monuments gone. Our stories forgotten. What remains are shadows. Plastic, radiation, and silent satellites in the dark. Millions of years into the future, what, if anything, will remain of us? Our greatest monuments once stood against time. The pyramids of Giza, Stonehenge, Mount Rushmore. But even stone is no match for the patience of wind, rain, and sand. Eventually, even these will crumble into dust, yet some of our creations may outlive every city, every monument, every trace on Earth. Satellites, our silent machines, could circle the planet for millions of years. Voyager, Pioneer, and other probes sail through the darkness, carrying golden records etched with our music, our voices, and our hopes. If alien explorers ever find them, these may be the only messages left of who we were. Perhaps an artificial intelligence, orbiting high above, will keep broadcasting our culture long after our voices have faded. A final echo of humanity, drifting through the stars. And so, the question lingers. Did humanity shape the Earth, or was the Earth always shaping us? Our cities, our machines, our art. All will fade. But the mark we leave behind is more than monuments or satellites. It is the story of a species that dreamed, created, and reached for the stars. And so, the experiment ends. A world without us. From the first day of silence, to 10,000 years of wild rebirth, Earth doesn't need us. It never did. But we have always needed Earth, for food. For shelter. For love. For meaning. Every skyscraper, every monument, every invention was only possible because Earth gave us the chance to exist, and yet, if everything we built fades away, what truly lasts? Not our towers. Not our machines. Not even our names. What remains is the impact we had on each other. On the lives we touched. On the world we shaped, for better or worse. So here is the question we leave behind. Is our greatest legacy the world we leave behind? Or the impact we had while we were here? In just 48 hours, the lights go out. In 100 years, the Earth might not even remember we were here. Welcome to a journey into the future. A world 100 years after us. Let's rewind. The moment we vanish, cities freeze in time. Subways flood. Roads become rivers. Why? Because without people, nobody's there to pump water, fix leaks, or patch potholes. Just 5 years in, and forests begin to reclaim suburbs. Coyotes stroll through downtown. Bears nap in backyard pools. It's not science fiction, it's already happening in abandoned places like Pripyat, Ukraine, near Chernobyl. In 20 years, air pollution drops to pre-industrial levels. Cities like Delhi, Beijing, and Los Angeles breathe again. The sky goes bluer. Rain smells cleaner. But here's a twist. Without humans managing dams and levees, floods reshape entire coastlines. Venice? Gone. New Orleans? A swamp again. By year 50, skyscrapers crumble from rust and rot. Steel expands, concrete cracks. Even the tallest buildings, like Dubai's Burj Khalifa, collapse into silence. Nature doesn't destroy, it reclaims. And fast. 100 years in, ecosystems are booming. In Africa, elephants roam without threat. In oceans, coral reefs, once bleached by our sunscreen and oil spills, start glowing back to life. Fun fact, coral can regrow at about 1 inch per year, if left undisturbed. In a century, entire reefs could rebuild themselves. Even our greatest monuments begin to fade. The Great Wall of China, swallowed by trees. Mount Rushmore might last a few thousand years. But Las Vegas? Gone under desert sands in decades. Turns out, what we built to last, doesn't. And what about us, our culture, our stories? Books rot. Hard drives corrode. Only things etched in stone or buried deep, like underground nuclear waste signs, may whisper that we were here. Imagine future alien archaeologists trying to decode emojis on a cave wall. 100 years after humans vanish, Earth isn't a wasteland. It's a living, breathing masterpiece, free to heal, evolve, and flourish without us. And the most shocking part? The planet doesn't miss us. Not even a little. If Earth can recover so beautifully without us, what could we do if we chose to live in harmony with it, before it's too late? What if tomorrow, we all vanished? No goodbyes. No explosions. Just, poof. Gone. Now picture this. Lions in London. Wolves in Paris. Monkeys swinging through Tokyo. Sounds like a sci-fi movie, right? But here's the wild truth. Without humans, animals wouldn't just survive. They'd take back the cities. In just a week, the signs start. Subway rats multiply. Raccoons raid luxury apartments. Deer graze on golf courses in Beverly Hills. And pigeons? Well, they've already claimed every ledge in Manhattan. Across the globe, a strange kind of wildlife renaissance begins. In New Delhi, langur monkeys reclaim temple grounds. In Cape Town, baboons stroll into open-air markets. In Berlin, wild boars dig up front lawns like it's Oktoberfest. And here's a shocker. Chernobyl's abandoned zone, completely human-free since 1986, is now home to lynx, bears, wolves, even Przewalski's horses. It's one of Europe's unintentional nature reserves. And it would happen faster than you think. By year 10, asphalt crumbles, sidewalks split. Foxes nest in parking garages. Skyscrapers become giant birdhouses. Without traffic noise, animal communication changes. Songbirds start singing softer, more melodic songs. Why shout when it's finally quiet? In the southern U.S., alligators return to golf course ponds. In Bangkok, pythons glide through storm drains like it's their private subway. And Australia? Don't even get me started. Kangaroos boxing in city streets is just the beginning. Seasons pass. In winter, wolves cross frozen rivers into urban zones. In summer, elephants roam freely across overgrown highways in India and Africa. And weird fact. Reindeer love airports. Wide open, flat, and quiet, perfect for grazing and hanging out on runways. Fast forward 50 years. Human cities become wild jungles. Vines overtake banks. Trees grow inside shopping malls. And animals? They adapt. Birds nest in broken ATMs. Bears hibernate in abandoned SUVs. Our civilization becomes their shelter. What's most surprising? Predators and prey learn to share territory. Without us constantly reshaping everything, ecosystems start to balance themselves. It's not perfect, but it's alive. So if animals can thrive without us, what does that say about how we've shaped the world with us in it? Are we the caretakers? Or the interruption? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this blew your mind, trust me, the world has even weirder stories waiting. Right now, there's more plastic in the ocean than there are stars in the Milky Way. But, what if we all disappeared, today? No more fishing boats. No more cruise ships. No more trash. Would the oceans finally breathe again? Let's dive into a world without humans. And discover how the deepest parts of our planet might come back to life. The ocean covers 71% of Earth's surface, but we've barely explored 5% of it. Crazy, right? We know more about Mars than we do about the Mariana Trench. And yet, we've managed to mess it up. Pollution. Overfishing. Noise. Even sunscreen from your beach day? Yeah, that stuff can bleach coral reefs. 1 week after humans vanish, ship traffic stops. Whales, who once had to scream over propeller noise, begin to sing softer. Studies already show that during COVID lockdowns, whales changed their songs, because the ocean was finally quiet. Let that sink in. Within a year, the massive trash gyres, like the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, start to break down. It won't vanish overnight, but without us constantly adding more, nature takes over. Tiny microbes, discovered near hydrothermal vents, can digest plastic. Yup, there are ocean bacteria literally snacking on our mess. By year 10, coral reefs start to recover. Without sunscreen runoff, boat anchors, and exploding dynamite fishing, yes, that's a real thing. Baby corals begin to grow again. Reefs near Australia, the Philippines, and the Maldives could bounce back, if left alone. Fun fact. Some coral species can clone themselves after a storm. Like little ocean phoenixes, fish stocks surge. Tuna, cod, swordfish, species we nearly wiped out. Reclaim the deep. And apex predators like sharks. They thrive, keeping ecosystems in check. No fishing lines. No bycatch. No nets. Just balance. In the deepest trenches, where we've dumped nuclear waste and chemical sludge, life finds a way. Weird, alien-like creatures, glowing, shape-shifting, cold-loving, slowly begin to repopulate. We don't even know what we've already lost down there, with no humans to build seawalls and luxury resorts. Coastal ecosystems rebuild. Mangroves spread. Salt marshes expand. Sea turtles finally lay eggs without dodging beach parties and plastic chairs. So, would the oceans heal without us? Yes. But not instantly. Not perfectly. But beautifully, and with time. The ocean doesn't need us. It just needs a break. That if the ocean can heal when we disappear, what could it do if we chose to stay, and actually protect it? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more incredible truths about our weird, wild world. Because the Earth, it's full of surprises. Even under the surface. Skyscrapers. The symbols of human dominance over nature. But what if we all just vanished? How long would they stand? How long before the Earth starts pulling them apart, one cracked window at a time? You're about to find out. And the answer is both surprising, and a little terrifying, from Dubai's Burj Khalifa to New York's One World Trade Center. Our skyscrapers scrape the sky at over 800 meters high. Built to withstand earthquakes, hurricanes, even plane impacts. But here's the catch. They're built to survive with us. Constant maintenance. Air conditioning. Drainage. Without humans, they start losing the battle to nature almost immediately. The power grid flickers and dies. Within 48 hours, pumps in basements shut off. Rain seeps in. Basements flood. Most of these towers, they're steel-framed, concrete-wrapped machines, with sensitive guts. And water is their worst enemy. Want proof? Just look at abandoned skyscrapers in places like Detroit or Chernobyl. Nature didn't knock politely, it kicked the door in. Windows shattered. Birds nested in boardrooms. Trees growing out of elevator shafts. It doesn't take centuries. Sometimes, it takes less than 20 years. Plants are sneakier than you think. Tiny cracks. Perfect for roots. Vines. They love glass and concrete. They wrap around rebar like it's a jungle gym. Over time, roots force cracks wider. Moisture seeps in. Steel rusts. And here's the science part. When steel rusts, it expands up to 6 times its original size. That pressure cracks concrete wide open, and wind. Without sealed windows, wind begins to whistle through empty floors, causing oscillation, constant movement that weakens the structure. Eventually, panels peel off. Glass shatters. And pieces fall like dominoes. By year 50, most glass is gone. Steel frames are rusting. Top floors too unstable to stand. Gravity, storms, and time do the rest. But some towers might last longer than you'd expect. The Eiffel Tower? It's mostly iron, it would rust, but slowly. The Empire State Building might stand for over 200 years, but eventually, even it would crumble under its own weight. Funny thing is, we've seen this before. Ancient temples, buried cities, once powerful civilizations, now forests. Nature always wins. It just takes its time. So, how long would skyscrapers last without us? Some might stand for a century or more. But eventually, wind, water, and weeds bring them to their knees. Because in the end, concrete cracks. Steel rusts. And nature? It never stops climbing. That we built these towers to last forever. But who are we building them for? Let us know what you think. And if the world ever resets, what should we leave behind for the next life form to find?